Hey, it's TT. Welcome back to Spooky Prompts 2023. Today I'm working on letter O, and my prompt is owl. And I had a really hard time trying to figure out what type of owl I was going to paint. I was kind of torn between should I try to paint a silly, fluffy little owl, or should I try to paint a spooky, scary Halloween scene owl? Or should I just paint a regular owl? And I don't know if you know how many different types of owls exist out there, but there are a lot. Whenever you just Google owl to like look at different pictures and figure out what different types of owls there are to try to figure out just the general shape of owl, um, there are a lot. So I actually ended up choosing this little barn owl. Um, I, they for me barn owls kind of like go back and forth between being kind of cute and kind of just like creepy. I don't know. There's just something about their little face. Like they're kind of cute, but at the same time, they're just a little unnerving. There's just something about their face structure. I don't know what it is. Um, but um, I thought that a barn owl would be, because they are a little creepy, I guess, but also kind of a little cute, would be a good choice for this prompt. So I decided to choose this little dude. I obviously spent a lot of time on the eyes, and I was just kind of trying to figure out what medium or mediums I was going to use last night whenever I painted this. And um, I just kind of was going with the flow and just seeing where it took me. So this little owl is actually kind of a white or cream colored owl, and then it's got like a golden, uh, like a really light golden brown color on like the top of its head and on its wings, and then it's got these cute little brown and black speckly spots all over its wings, and it's just kind of pretty. And I picked it and I was like, that's kind of pretty. I like that. And then when I started painting it, I was just like, oh no. And I didn't have the mental capacity to try to figure out the best way to paint white feathers on white paper with and be able to actually see the feathers. And I just kind of I just I winged it because it's a bird. They have wings. Anyway, I just kind of winged it. I ended up kind of I put down some like shadow color, watercolor all over to give it some kind of color, because nothing that's white is ever truly white, you know. And usually you can make something look white or lighter, depending on the values that you put next to it. So I could make something look lighter if I were to use a darker version of my brown, black colors. If I put in darker shadows, if I really bump up the contrast a lot more in some of the darker things on the owl, it'll make those, even though I actually painted it and it's not even as bright a white now, you can see as I'm adding more layers of these darker colors that it looks white again. Like your brain translates that to white. So it's kind of interesting when you kind of get into studying color theory, and when you get into studying kind of the way that our brain translates color when we're making images. Like if you so like obviously what I just said, like when it comes to like I can make something look white, I just have to put the colors that are around it have to be really dark. Same kind of situation. I could make something look really dark by using really light versions of colors around it. So that was kind of my plan, because I wanted to add some texture into the feathers. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to just bump up this contrast everywhere else and make this other stuff darker than I probably normally would because I'm always a chicken about contrast. So, and that'll make it look whiter. And then I did lots of layers to try to really get those dots dark. And then I went and grabbed a white pen, and I used a white pen to go over and get. He has these adorable little feathers on his little schnoz covering his beak, and I was like, I want to be able to see these little white feathers that are covering his little beak. So, because watercolor is transparent and there's no true white watercolor, my options were white gouache, and I tried that first, and I couldn't get a good, nice, like, like I couldn't get a good coverage. So then I went and got the white pen. Then I didn't like how defined the lines were. So I went back over it with water. And then here I am adding more contrast to the other areas around it and to the shadows. And that's how I got it to look like it was white again, by just fiddling with the shadows. So it was a lot of back and forth and a lot of like, oh no, why did I choose a white owl for me? But it turned out okay. In the end, I think it turned out pretty cute. Here I am giving it a final dry before I pick it up and show it to you a little bit closer. So here it is. Here's my prompt for the letter O for owl. It's a little barn owl. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will talk to you next time.